I'm back. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. It's Christmas season. Happy holidays. Are you decorating for Christmas? I hope that you guys are keeping well. Um, it's been very cold. We've had I don't want to say super cold days, but some days I've really felt like super cold, if that makes sense. Yeah. And we've had snow was it last Monday and yesterday? Yeah, so it's snowing, guys. Looks like it's gonna be a white Christmas. Anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about blue collar jobs and white collar jobs. And I came to find out that there is a different category of jobs as well. There is the blue collar. I was like, what is that? Oh, hi, Glenn. How are you? How are you doing? Oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening to my nose. It's a bit itchy. But yeah, uh, so blue collar jobs. Oh, you're doing wonderful. That's amazing. Good to see you here. Yeah, so blue collar, when I think of blue collar jobs, I think of oops, hands-on jobs. I think of manual labor, like jobs that really involve a lot of physical energy. Oh, that's good. Well, thank you, Glenn. Yeah, so when I think of blue collar jobs, I think of construction, I think of manufacturing, I think of transportation, and white collar jobs are maybe like administrative kind of jobs, or maybe office jobs. I would say that's just like a vague way of putting it, but we shall find out together. So white collar is mostly maybe administrative, managerial, and professional kind of jobs. Like you could think of maybe lawyers, or I don't know if engineers fall in this category. It's a little bit hard to tell sometimes, yeah, but that's basically it. Like for the white collar jobs, you probably need to go to the university and get yourself a degree of some sorts. For the blue collar jobs, it's mostly about trade. Yeah, so you learn a skill or a trade, and it's mostly hands on. And to be honest with you, oops, what was that? To be honest, like right now, I really appreciate like the blue collar jobs. Not that I did not before, but there was just this notion that, that people working in blue collar jobs, it was sort of viewed as less than. The ideal was, for you to go to school to study, to get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, or however far you can go in terms of studies, and then get a nice office job. Yeah, so that is pretty much what was kind of quote unquote sold to us growing up. And I just wish that, a lot of emphasis was also placed on things like jobs in construction and in manufacturing, like hands-on stuff. Because uh, I I think that there are certain industries that are very crucial to our survival that we really need, and that without these kind of jobs, we would not really be super comfortable in the way that we live and in the way that we move. Look at transportation, for instance. Yeah, of course you have the engineers and the ones who work on the drawings and stuff like that, but you also have the men, and may I add women, but mostly men, who are really hands-on, who really do like the work, yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen a blue collar person like just out of work heading home. Have you ever seen someone filled, just covered? Yeah, I think that's the right word. Covered with like oil and grease or maybe just dirt. And you're like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? But actually, they've been doing like something super, super important, because without these people, we would not have like the train system, the way it works. We would not have our roads the way they are. So yeah, much respect to the blue collar jobs. And I do feel like these kind of jobs, and are the ones that really keep us moving, you know? Because you need to, when you're on the train, you just need to be sure that, the train is working well. But do you ever think of what does it take to put this together? What kind of manual labor does it take? In as much as we are in 2025 and we have huge and huge advancements in technology, you cannot deny the human aspect of it, right? Yeah, I know we're living in the age of AI, we're living in the age of, a lot of AI taking over, but there's always that human element that is necessary, and it's very, very much needed in certain jobs. And these are the things that really, really keep us alive and keep us moving. Think of like the people who do the plumbing work. If the plumbing is not done right, you will not be comfortable in your home. The electricians, the people who work on the roofs, like if the roof is leaking, how is that going to affect your quality of life? And that's why I really think like we should not discourage one another, or even just discourage like kids or young adults, from pursuing such kind of jobs, or even just going to trade school, because it really is important. And you also have like a lot of benefits that come with that, like just that kind of know-how, that you have. And then blue collar jobs has a lot of pros. You get good wages, I hope. Then there's stability and clear career paths. Stability in the sense, but you do know that if, let's say, you're in a particular kind of trade, you know that your skill will be needed always, like plumbing. For as long as human beings exist, oops. Yeah, we're gonna need someone who's good in plumbing. We're gonna need electricians. We're gonna need the construction workers for as long as we live on this planet. So there's that sense of, stability, that, oh, I'll always have a job, and you also get compensated well. You have a clear career path. You know that, okay, this is what I'm doing, and you're able to build on that and develop that. So I am for blue collar jobs. Kudos to everyone who's working in these industries. You are amazing. And when I was thinking of the blue collar jobs, like examples of blue collar jobs, I was just curious. I thought of culinary. It's I find it a little bit challenging pronouncing that word culinary. It's spelled Culinary. And I was like, is this, is culinary a blue collar job? But I found out that yes and no. Okay. So, yes, in the sense that it's hands on. There's a lot of, manual labor that goes into it. If you've been to like a commercial kitchen, is that the right? Yeah. Then you know what I'm talking about. Those kitchens are busy, it's hands on, it's a lot of shouting that goes on. It's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess, because at the end of the day, you get a plate of food on your table. Yeah, but it's really, really hands on. I think the chefs in the house can attest to this. And yeah, so in the terms of the of it being hands-on, and it being manual, it's requiring manual labor. It is blue collar, but then you have intellectual tasks like when chefs are involved in management. Okay, when chefs are involved in management, menu design and business operations. So in that sense, you can say that it is a white collar job. And I found out that there is something called a gray collar job. I was like, oh wow. So culinary can be an example where it's a mix of blue collar jobs and white collar jobs. I don't know if that mix gives you the color gray, but for some reason that's how they refer to culinary. And when I went to Mohonk Mountain House, there were culinary students there cooking, and I must say those, I don't want to call them kids because they're young adults, but they can cook. Maybe others were teenagers, I think. But the food was mm, mm, mm. So if you've never had any food, prepared by like culinary students, I would urge you to do that. They do an amazing, amazing job. Yeah. So yeah, and the reason why culinary is moving into like the white, let me say gray color, because it's a mixed. Ooh, it's a mix. What's happening to me? Why can't I pronounce these words properly? I'll blame it on the Invisaligns. I have something foreign in my mouth. Yeah, so gray collar jobs are a thing, apparently. Yeah. So for blue collar jobs, mostly it's hourly pay. So paid by the hour. It's not salaried like most white collar jobs. And then, so the skilled trades in blue collar jobs, you have the electricians, you have the plumbers, the HVAC technicians. Yeah, you need your AC, especially when it's hot. And even in the winter when you need your heat. Yeah. So there are pipe fitters. We have people working in transportation, truck drivers. Ooh, kudos to all the truck drivers because it's not easy. I literally drive for like 40 minutes or 45 minutes and I'm done. I'm like, driving is hard work. Can you imagine what it takes to be a truck driver and to be on the road for so many hours? It is not easy. So kudos to all the truck drivers out there. You have the aircraft mechanics. It's a lot, yeah, or just mechanics in general, or those who work on vehicles and stuff like that. You have the crane operators, yeah. Yeah, so a lot of examples of these kind of trades. And right now I see that a lot of people are embracing blue collar jobs in the sense that, it's not really looked down upon. I don't know if this is like a worldwide phenomenon, but when I was growing up, it was like, blue collar, industry was something you get into if and when all fails, if like your dream of being a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, like if you're not able to attain grades for that, or if you're not able to pursue that, then that was like a backup kind of thing. But I would like us to look at it differently, yeah, to just like embrace it and just be open, and not to like have this unnecessary pressure on teenagers and young adults as they're trying to figure out life. Hey, if someone wants to be a truck driver, why not encourage the person? If it's your child, if it's, a member of your family or even a friend, help them, just like encourage them to do what they think they would excel at or what makes them happy. Not everyone wants to be or will be a doctor, an engineer. I'm not saying that these are not important. These are very, very important. We need more doctors. We need more engineers. We need more of you know, professionals in such sectors, or would I say industries. But at the same time, we also need people in the blue uh, collar industry, and it doesn't have to be like the last option or the second option, or like, oh, the thing I do when I've got nothing to do. Why don't we embrace, these trades? And yeah, so I think that would be a good way to like look at it and just like appreciate, the men and women in our communities, in our societies, who are working in these fields, like a welder, for example. It is not easy to be a welder. Have you ever seen a welder at work? It's like, first of all, they have to like be covered properly to have like, how is it called? I forget the name. But when you're at work and you have your safety equip, how could I forget what that is called? Yeah, but protective gear. What is the name? That is crazy. That when you, how could I forget that? Oh my gosh, I'm sure it will come to me. But yeah, that like the protective gear that you have at work. For the welders, they have to cover their eyes, they have to cover their ears, and there is that like the, I don't know if smell is the right word, but there's just that smell that comes, let me use smell for lack of a better word, or a stench of the metal, because when they're trying to like put these two metals together, or whatever it is that they're welding, it is a strong smell. And you have to be really like into like loving what you do, or very committed for you to be able to take in that. And so we do need welders. And just kudos to anyone who's a welder out there, who's doing the hard job, that a lot of people may look down on. All I'm saying is that every job is important, especially the jobs that really benefits, the society, the jobs that add value. Yeah. So, and I think all jobs do add value. Yeah. So, yeah, the good jobs, the ones that add value. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. What is going on today? I haven't talked this much in a while. I think maybe that's why. And so the white collar jobs, like I said earlier, these are the professional jobs, the managerial roles or administrative roles, Um, for white collar jobs, they are salaried, and yeah, so examples are lawyers, like I said, doctors, teachers, engineers. Yeah. So the setting for this is primarily office settings or indoor settings. Blue collar jobs, mostly it's like outdoor settings. There's some that are indoor, like if you are a plumber working in a building indoors, or an electrician. So it could be a mix of both. Yeah. So you have like maybe in technology, you have a software developer or an IT manager or a systems analyst. These are examples of white collar jobs, right? Yeah. So you'd wonder like, why is this called blue collar and why is the other one called white collar? Like, who came up with these terms? White collar comes from the white dress shirts that were worn in the early 18th century by the office workers and the professionals. So, yeah. So this was in contrast to the blue collar jobs, where the workers would wear blue denims. For those are what the manual laborers would put on. So I think, actually, I know from what I've read, so the names blue collar and white collar were derived from just the dressing, how they would dress it going to work. Yeah. So there you have it. Yeah, so that's it about the blue collar jobs, white collar jobs. All I can say is all of both of these jobs are important, and we don't need to look down on one another like, oh, I'm in a white collar job. Oh, I wouldn't do that. No, we all need each other. We need each other. Yeah, let me put it that way, plain and simple. Yeah. Wait until something jams in your house and you need a plumber. That's when you're like, oh my gosh, plumbers are really, really important. Yeah, it should not take that for you to appreciate what plumbers do. And my thing is that any kind of job that brings food to the table in a legit way, I respect that, Yeah. Whether you're digging trenches, whether you're driving the truck, whether you're in the office, so long as you are contributing, contributing to society by through your job, because when you go to work, I believe you're there to add value, not just to pass time and count the hours. Which I think some people do. I'm not judging. I'm just here to like talk about issues. Yeah, but if you're like genuinely going to work to add value and you get your compensation in terms of your wages and you're putting food on your table, you're taking care of yourself, like, I mean, who am I or who is anyone to talk about your way of earning a living? I don't think I or anyone else is in a position to be judgmental or to look down upon you or to like, yeah. Because at the end of the day, you are taking care of yourself, and the people judging, the people like, looking down on what you're doing could not, read my lips, they could not even take care of you for a single day. And even if they can, it's not something I think that they will be willing to do for the rest of your life. So do you get what, do what makes you happy or what brings food to your table, what like keeps your lights on. Yeah, at the end of the day, um it's a job. It's your way of contributing to society. It's your way of taking care of yourself. So that's why, for me, it doesn't bother me. A job is a job, so long as it's something that I signed up for and I want to do. Yeah, I will do it. And honestly, now I'm really seriously thinking of learning a trade or a skill. They say it's never too late. Yeah, so I'm really seriously thinking of that, like just having like something that I can do with my hands. Yeah, I think that would be like really cool. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section about the blue color versus the white color. Which one do you prefer? Yeah, and or do you like both, or you don't care so long as you're working, that's it. Yeah. So let me know in the comment section. Are you a blue collar person? Are you a white collar person? Do do you like don't care which industry you work in, or you like, hey, so long as I'm getting money at the end of the day? I tend to be of that thought of like, so long as I'm being paid at the end of the day and the job is legit and what I'm doing is legit, hey, and I signed up for it. Because most times before you start working, there's the interview process where you get to learn about the company and the company gets to know more about you and you get to know more about your role. So most often than not, we know what we sign up for. Yeah, that's why. And I know jobs are not easy. Maybe once you start working, life happens and you're like, oh, complaining. and stuff like that. But most often than not, unless someone was not being open and honest in the interview process, but most of the time you really know what you're signing up for. Yeah. So, yeah, just like be an adult and work. Work, 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 work. I think that's what being an adult is all about. Yeah. When you're an adult, there are certain responsibilities that you cannot escape. For example, once you're a grown adult, I think once you hit 21, you're officially, let me do a mirror check to see if I'm good. Yeah. Once you hit 21, you're officially an adult. You have to take care of yourself, you know? You're no longer like society's problem, quote unquote, anymore. You need to figure out how to take care of yourself. That is just the bitter truth. I think when you're 18, your parents could still help. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're just, because when you're 18, you're probably still in school. Yeah. But once you hit 21, and I think once you get to like 23 or 25, ooh, at that age, you're completely on your own. Yeah, and you have to figure out life and you have to work. And yeah, that's life's way of welcoming you to adulthood. Yeah, now you have to realize you're an adult. You need to like pay your rent, uh, buy your own groceries, keep the lights on in the house, wake up and go to work. Yeah, so that's adulthood, I guess. And you work and work and work until the day you retire or until the day you die. But is there like really, maybe we will talk about that another day. Like, is there like retirement? Is it really a thing? Do you really, really retire? You know? Because even after retirement, there are other people who still work or who still do things that they love. But it's still, I think you work until you're not on this earth anymore. I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. But hey, it was nice being here, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time. Like I always say, please, please be a kind human. It doesn't cost a thing, and I'll see you guys next time.